We're going to see if Shame is going to go back to that strategy as we're going to go ahead into picks and bans for game number 2 right now. Kingdom, yet again, going to have the first pick. We'll see if they're going to try to deny the Athena again away from Noble or if they're going to elect to pick it up as well.
Yeah, as far as both of these teams are concerned, I don't really think there's anything that I necessarily want to ban out or make sure is picked from last game, with the exception of that tier. Honestly, I think yoyoabc's tier, not only did he have the game-winning Fearless, but throughout the game was also a big part of it.
He did a good job. He got the first blood of the game as well in the solo lane, recognizing the fact that the Ravana. He waited for the Fearless. He didn't just Fearless just to do it. He waited to get hit and then Fearless, making sure that all his archers would be hitting the Ravana.
Yeah, so just very deep play, honestly, from the solo laners. Just good knowledge. And there's that Athena deny one more time. You mentioned it, and you certainly get it. And this time, Noble say, all right, we won. But, Kata, you got to calm down. That Jingwei was tough.
That's the way the Scylla died that one engagement with the epic uppercut and landing into the Jingwei knockup as well. There was nothing she could do during all that engagement. So that's very annoying if you're Noble. Banning that right away, I like the idea.
So Kingdom now with the first pick. They're going to go ahead and opt in a certain direction, and it will be directed again at Scylla. Keep in mind, Kingdom, and these are the guys and now that are going to turn it around. Last time we saw it, Noble pick up the Scylla. Kingdom will have it. McSaltyCakes on the Soul last time. Very different gods. Soul is more that sustained damage, looking for the towers. Scylla looking for that pop.
That pop can be easily set up as well if there's going to be a Sobek or a Kumbhakarna for Kingdom Esports. And more than likely, Kumba will be played again. He played very well the first game, and now you have a Scylla on top of that. I would definitely be looking for that play.
So now Noble. Thor was banned in game number 1. We're going to see it picked up this time around, likely by Shame. A Nemesis will be the answer from Kingdom Esports. So Shame really looking to shape up to be one of these control junglers, really. What we saw to the Hun Bats was less the straight Deathbringer, second item, assassinate the target. We really saw Fear No Evil hit at least 3 players every single time he used it. I expect to see a lot of the same from the Thor.
He had full CDR to his disposal, having the Jotun's Wrath and the Breastplate of Valor. He was constantly trying to force those purifications and then going for round 2 as well. Noble Esports not going to allow Kingdom to pick up the Kumbhakarna, going to elect to pick it up themselves, going to have a lot of control and mobility, having the Janus and the Thor global ultimates with a Kumbhakarna to control the area of effect is going to be really powerful for Noble.
I find a lot of similarity in Sobek and Kumbhakarna, maybe not so much in their kit, but at least the way that they're played. Kumba and Sobek both want to be like right up in the enemy, saying, at a moment's notice, I'm going to be in your stuff, and you're going to get in trouble. So it creates a situation where the enemy, I always call it Sobekitude in the croc lane, creates a situation where the slightest misstep, the smallest mistake can be just brought, and you can make a mountain out of a molehill with a god like Kumba.
And that's why we saw Grattywind playing very careful with the Sobek last game, because the fact that the Nemesis was for Kingdom Esports, trying to recognize any sort of misposition. If you don't have your escape any longer, we're going to take advantage of it. But now the difference between last game is there's going to be a Scylla with this Nemesis to take advantage if you misstep.
With the Janus on the side of Noble, Kingdom decide they don't want Lou pulling his split push shenanigans again. So the Hunter will be the last pick for Noble. Very curious. This is very fun when solo laners just say, nah, give me the Ravana and let them counterpick me. See what happens.
It's interesting because Kingdom Esports picked up the Ravana. There was a lot of options available to them. They had the tier, they had the Vamana, they had the Bellona, opting to be a big bull in the Ravana. And now it looks like Noble Esports wants to take the same exact approach that Kingdom did last game. We'll see if they can transition it better in the early game than Kingdom did.
What about this Noble comp makes you not want to pick up the tier? Because off of Yo-Yo's performance last game, I'd rather just see that one come back. But Noble say something a little bit different, and they go Ravana this time.
Right now, if I'm Noble Esports, I'm picking up the Ravana in this situation just because the aggressive playstyle with Thor, more than likely there might be an aggressive invade from Noble, or it could be a position where, hey, I could get my soul laner low enough, you come here and rotate, especially with Janus, and clean him up.
Certainly going to help out Xbalanque, those portals. Going to be able to be a little bit more mobile. Now, really, when I think of Lou and his previous performances, I always think towards the Apollo, but the Xbalanque, not exactly on the bottom there. He plays a lot of Shibby, and a lot of successful Xbalanque, honestly, as well.
It's good synergy right now. You have Thor and Janus. Whenever they commit with their ultimates, you throw Darkest of Nights on top of that. The teamfight for Noble with those 3 ultimates is going to be very difficult for Kingdom Esports to collaborate a coherent strategy and response.
On the other side, we've got the Bacchus and the Ho Yi. So we'll see Catalyyyst looking for those dank bounces coming out from the the MLG Ho-Yi. We'll see if it works out here. Kingdom Esports now have a lot of aggression in their lane. Noble, on the other hand, Kumba's very aggressive, but Xbalanque kind of wants to wait. He wants to wait it out.
Those dank bounces, they're going to be pretty moist on the ground, trying to land on a puddle.
Yeah, just looking for him. Here we've got Sealcar on the Vamana. This is a character that I feel like Vamana is, barring fierce itemization changes, Vamana's generally always acceptable.
It is. And dating back to before, when Vamana was always very powerful, with Sprint 3 specifically.
Oh, yeah.
Ever since then, you could just play very aggressively all in a target. And the laning phase for Vamana is very safe as well. So against a bully god such as Ravana, you can allow the Ravana early game to control a little bit of pressure, and then from there just look for sitting under your tower, not losing that much gold as a result.
Yeah, the Vamana does a lot of damage come late game. Like we said before, Robin's just really looking to be this disruptor, constant slows, constant you can't kill me, just baiting out abilities with the overhand kick, and then just getting out a lot of other nonsense. Vamana, on the other hand, he's going to be just front and center over everything. The invade is successful.
We talked about the early game strategy coming out of the Ravana and the Thor, picking up Wrath already, able to invade the speed buff as a result. No, Kingdom Esports recognized the fact that there was going to be invade, started with their own blue buff because they put a ward into the enemy speed buff, saw they weren't starting it, knew that there was either going to be a start at the mid harpies or the blue buff. Either way, making sure that Vamana wasn't denied the blue buff puts him in a position where he could still stall the lane out very well.
Exactly. It's all about the priority. The blue buff is probably a little bit more important than the speed buff is in the beginning of the game for your solo versus your jungle. Quick jump coming out from the Ho-Yi. Kata goes aggressive. Swims right on top of the wave. Doesn't want to waste any of that damage. So no speed buff for the jungler. But more importantly, no deaths. A lot of times those invades quickly turn into bad news for the people that are getting aggressed on. And bad news for the Kumbhakarna. He's going to get jumped on and knocked up. No basics as Xbalanque still able to deal damage. And under half HP is our Bacchus. I'm just Toasty.
Kumbhakarna using his meditation there, making sure that he wasn't going to drop. And that's a situation where you necessarily don't have to pop meditation since you are Kumbhakarna. You have your passive available. So if they want to commit to that kill close to your tower, there's going to be a wave coming right around that corner to back him up.
I don't mind the meditation use. Actually, meditation is one of those abilities where McSaltyCakes go ahead and get CC'd and take a big chunk thanks to the Vortex. Rotation in from Kumbhakarna. Double tap, only going to find half of it, but there's a spin to win. McSaltyCakes very low, and now TsmaII in some trouble. Nemesis for the second time gets slowed out, and the root not going to be found as Kumba dashes away. Purification used to avoid the portal, and nothing from Shame either. Trying to find the kill on the Kumba, but Catalyyyst a little bit too slow. Root's going to save the life of McSaltyCakes over in the mid lane. Meanwhile, Lou's going to be fine. He'll dash away. Can't do the same is the Ravana. yoyoabc falls again to the Sealcar solo.
Unfortunately, it's not similar to the last game. This time it is going to be the Sealcar that's able to find the first blood onto yoyoabc. It looks like both Ravana players, both players in the solo lane right now, when they're playing this Ravana, it seems like they're playing very hyper-aggressive right now, and they're overextending ever so slightly, and they're getting punished for it. And that's kind of what happened both early games, so they're going to have to figure out a way to bounce back. And with this Wrath build coming out of the Ravana, they're going to be able to constantly invade the blue and the speed.
So one kill up for Sealcar. He goes ahead and picks up the solo. Let's take a look at how that one really spelled itself out. Last time around, it was just good old-fashioned over-aggression from the Ravana in game number 1. This time around, Sealcar winds up on the top end, and it looks like a bait. Very low, and immediately the hit takes all the damage from the archers, and the turnaround from Sealcar, very simple. Honestly, just a misplay from Yoyo.
It seems like that Yoyo had his second ability coming up very soon, wanted to use that ability, just unfortunately didn't time it out properly. Had he had that overhead kick available to him, that was a dead Vamana.
Yeah, just miscalculation, honestly, coming out from Yoyo. Thought he was a little bit safer than he was, and this time around, I don't know if I call this one a miscalculation. This is just wrong place at the wrong time. Miss from Scylla, so the ultimate not going to find a target, and honestly, not going to find a kill because of that. yoyoabc going to come around from the backside, and he'll totally be fine. And the rest of Kingdom Esports just going to look towards the jungle buffs.
Using the Wrath a little bit too early now puts Yoyo in a very awkward position because now Vamana has the blue buff. Vamana has Warrior Tabby as well. Boots 3 versus the Boots 2 of Ravana, and he's utilizing that perfectly.
Toasty not going to find the buff with the ultimate. Instead, it will be secured by Noble Esports. There's the knockup from Kumbhakarna into the portal. Love that play. That
So-
one's just fun to look at.
So similar to the last game where they had the hold, I thought Yo-Yo just going to take a little bit of poke. Has to be very careful. Grattywind coming around the corner. Sealcar has enough mana for one ability. Going to miss out the root, however.
Bait for bait this time around. Last time, Sealcar baited himself into Yo-Yo biting a little bit too hard. This time, Yo-Yo baits himself into Sealcar biting a little bit too hard, but Grattywind off the mark means that no kill will be secured. But more importantly than the kill, perhaps, the blue buff will be secured by Ravana because of the pressure.
Yes, got to have that blue buff. You got to match the solo laner's blue buff for blue buff. However, having Boots 2 right now versus the Boots 3 coming out of Sealcar is going to put Yo-Yo in a very awkward position right now. With not having a teleport available to Yo-Yo, if he has to back, he could easily miss a wave. Somebody's going to have to cover him potentially, especially if the Vamana teleports back like right now that he did. This wave is going to get pushed onto Yo-Yo's tower.
That's going to be tough. Losing out on a little bit of farm here. We'll make sure to see just how many creeps the solo laner misses as Ravana already makes it out of the base, but Sealcar able to take out this wave right quick. So
There's
at
no
least
big
one.
minion, so they're gonna lose
wow.
all 3 melee minions for sure.
That's a rough play coming out for Ravana. Sealcar going to make the rotation because of it as well. Sitting up a little bit against the opponent. You can see almost a full 1,000 gold. Just about 800 in the lead is Sealcar. And he's able to really lead in experience as well. About a half a level up for the Vamana.
And right now he is sitting on tier 2 breastplate of Valor, so he's going to be able to play very aggressive, having that physical defense online and available to him. Also having a little bit of a level advantage, so he's going to be trying to utilize this and constantly poke out Ravana. And if he gets him low enough without having that teleport on Ravana, he can constantly deny more golden experience.
Yeah, that last wave push in the tower really made the difference between a half level and 3/4 of a level. Sealcar now with a real tangible lead against his opposition, yoyoabc. Toasty looking for a stun on Shame. Doesn't want to really pass that halfway mark. Doesn't want to walk too deep into enemy territory. Sealcar going to play it safe. He's got a member, but TsmaI's got somebody behind him as well. yoyoabc ults right in place as the ult from Sealcar. He's got to heal up. And that's trouble for the Nemesis. TsmaIl dashes out, and here comes Janus off the top. Going to hit before the shield, and Shame comes right on top with the stun as well. There's the follow-up. Sealcar in trouble. And Supra gets credit for that one. 1-0 and 1 for the mid lane and the jungler. 2 kills in total for Noble with the rotation.
Kingdom
solo.
has to be so careful about committing under the tier 1 tower. You're dealing with a Janus and a Thor, and then here comes the Darkest of Nights. That 3 ultimate combination from Noble is what allowed the counter engage so beautifully, finding those 2 picks. And now finding the blue buff is going to put Yo-Yo in a good position for the rest of this laning phase.
Now this mid lane, we really haven't spoken too much about, but there's a 2-level lead going on here. Janus sitting up level 9 versus Scylla's level 7. And honestly, the gold also in a similar spot, 800 gold in the lead. Where did that come from? That can't all be from the rotation.
It seems like during that earlier engagement around the Gold Fury side, when everyone was around level 2/4 in that area, a lot of purification was used earlier on. So Scylla playing very carefully as a result, not wanting to get blown up by the Thor, the ultimate, the Anvil of Dawn, and the Tectonic Rift has a lot of long-range pokes. So Scylla probably sacrificed some gold and experience under tower.
Cattle looking for his piggy bank, going to be robbed out by the bully Grattywind. There's Toasty dealing with the enemy hunter. So support on enemy hunters is really the gimmick we've got here in the long lane. Lou going to dash away. Below half HP. Does have that mark of the crow. So if Kata finds a cheeky ricochet, can totally capitalize. But it's going to be played safe. Kata just opting for the wave.
Right side mid Harpies does go into the favor of Kingdom Esports. Left side is being started by the Thor right now. As that does fall, TsmaIl was thinking about possibly engaging right now. The Thor doesn't have much mana, so this wouldn't be a bad idea for Kingdom to try to force something out.
At the moment, it's still 2v3 though, and that root's enough to scare TsmaIl into dashing away underneath his tower. A lot of damage coming out from that Janus. Nothing too crazy for the build, totally, but he's just finding the vortexes, finding the offensive portals as well.
When you have the mobility of the Janus, you're allowing not only yourself but the Thor to find the right angle to deal with the Scylla and possibly poke her out, which is why she constantly has to go back to base, and she has that 1 level disparity at the moment.
Dash away from Lewis. He sees everybody coming on him. He sees it's at least a dual lane plus a jungler. Hits the ultimate in case it's the entire team. He'll be safe. Different story for Sealcar. Forced into the ultimate. Robin just beating him down here totally. Level 10 to level 11. Sealcar has a big lead, and I mean a big lead in this lane, and it just doesn't seem to matter.
And right now, because of the fact that the Vamana has teleport, he'll be able to get back to lane. If I'm the Ravana, I was going to be looking for a play to try to stop the back from the Vamana and make somebody rotate to my lane so the rest of my team can maybe open up goal here right now. That would have been a very aggressive but calculated aggression from Yo-Yo.
Robin really, and I think Yo-Yo is getting very aggressive because when you start off with this Wrath or anything else, sometimes we see tiers go blink or something, that level 12 is that grail moment where you're able to pick up the teleport. You're able to go ahead and be anywhere, just like Thor. Lands right on top of Sealcar. That's 3 members surrounded, 1 totally. That is a dead Sealcar. Vamana goes down. yoyoabc gets credit for that one. Lou makes the rotation over to mid lane just to see what can happen. But not too much. It's really all about the Gold Fury. The Hunter doesn't want that objective to go easily.
Kingdom not recognizing the fact that there was such a heavy committed rotation from Noble Esports. The wards, if you look at the Fire Giant side, both the top and bottom side, as the bottom side just visited the way, were sentry warded coming out of Noble Esports. So Kingdom Esports doesn't recognize all these rotations.
TsmaII in some trouble. Gets hit with a double tap. Grattywind now just zoning. There's the jump over the top of Grattywind and the portal to zone out the support. Very smart play.
The Root not able to find anything for Kingdom Esports right now. Noble's going to regroup in the mid lane as Ravana's going to come around underneath. More than likely going to try to find a little bit of poke onto the Scylla as TsmaII is forced to disengage.
That's a lot of bit of poke, especially with the Janus ultimate. Ultimate out of Nemesis, really just for the movement speed, trying to find an exit. But the dash from Lou finds the poison, finds the basic from a distance. Lou with the accuracy takes out 1. That's 1 stack on the jungle cat. Catalyyyst trying to find the follow-up, but another great portal. Super on this Janus is looking a lot better than he did in game 1. Totally.
There's a beautiful wall as well from the Thor, not allowing anyone from Kingdom Esports right now. Sealcar still having his ultimate, wants to play aggressive. Bacchus with the belly flop as well, able to get Kumbhakarna under his passive, but you don't want to be in there if you're the melee characters.
And there's the ultimate from Scylla on top of the dead Kumbhakarna. Not going to find anybody. Oh, that was just rough, and Noble is going to turn around and just embarrass the enemy. That was a rough play, totally, and Noble acknowledge it. They turn around, they pick up a kill on the Catalyyyst. Scylla just wasted the ult.
More than likely was waiting for the Kumbhakarna to revive right there, just a little bit too early in that regard. You didn't want to commit if you're a melee characters out of Kingdom, and obviously there's still a team fight going on, so the idea was there, just a little bit mistimed if you're McSaltyCakes.
Definitely a little bit mistimed. That one looked silly, yeah. You know, when you break it down, I really just thought okay, there's the turnaround. Yo-Yo picks up McSaltyCakes. I really just thought he still would kill the guy, very low HP. But when you put it that way, I think it really was the timing. I take it back. All right, I take it back. It wasn't as egregious as I thought it was. Gold Fury going to be started by Noble. As you can see, the turnaround of the Salty Cakes. Without that Scylla, the objective secure is down for Kingdom Esports, and Noble feel a little bit more confident in aggressing on the Gold Fury. It's already gone, folks. 6-1. This game was very close in game number 1. This time around, 5 kills in the lead is Noble, and with that Gold Fury, they're going to find themselves 3,000 gold as well.
And the way they're rotating with the Janus and the Thor, they're utilizing their mobility right now, able to go from solo lane to mid lane to dual lane anytime they really want to, and they're able to control objectives, even if they don't necessarily steal the blue buff, whereas the Ravana tried to solo steal it earlier on. The idea is there, and they're constantly putting pressure on top of Kingdom Esports, which doesn't put them in a comfortable position, and Noble able to be the aggressors. They're dictating the pace of the game, and they're capitalizing on all these objectives, and now a goal here at the 12-minute mark.
Yeah, I love the gameplay coming out from these teams. Noble specifically looking like a very strong team. And I always say that, and I try to separate when you're looking at acknowledging teams, especially with a brand new league like this, I always try to step away from the mechanics and see how well these guys push their buttons, and instead look how well they execute their game plan. This time around, it's very clearly about the mobility of Janus and the Thor, and you acknowledge that that's certainly what's coming out. The objective secure immediately after taking the mage out in the mid lane, they go right to the Gold Fury. I love to see this breakdown, and I think it's a very positive sign for the level of talent in the SCL.
And Ravana able to secure the blue buff away from the Vamana as well. Yet again, trying to extend his lead. It looks like it was picked up actually by Kingdom Esports.
Kingdom now 4K down. There's the belch from the backside. There's a stun as well. Super in some trouble. Can't seem to find the angle for the portal. Finds the short one, not the long one. And now Shame in the air trying to defend his mid laner. Lands right on top. And Bacchus in some trouble. Janus doesn't find the mark with the ult. But now we'll take the long way around. Scylla off the mark as well, so can't find it. Catalyyyst now, sprint popped. There's the ultimate. He's collapsed on by 2. Thor doesn't care, shrugs off the Suns, and just devastates Catalyyyst. That's another kill for the jungler. 2, 0, and 4 for Shane.
Beautiful maneuverability by the Thor as well, juking the ricochet. He wasn't even marked, and he wasn't going to get stunned out of the Berserker barrage, but just the mindset that the fact that he could make that maneuver and take less damage while still dealing damage with his Berserker barrage shows a lot of high mechanics coming out of him, as yoyoabc trying to punish the fact that the tier 1 tower is down, trying to get off as much damage as he possibly can, as the Vamana's teleport is still down, but the Vamana ultimate is down as well. So this could be a good counter aggression coming out of Noble.
Yeah, we've got 2 over here in the solo lane. We'll see how far they want to push it. Shane versus Cat is funny. These guys have played on teams together and also played against each other. Shane was a member of Elevate, or Shane was a member of Epsilon. Catalyyyst was a member of Elevate a little bit later on. So these guys certainly know the tendencies. And there's Shane getting aggressed on by TsmaII. The ultimate really used more zoning than anything else. Nemesis just pops Shane real quick to make sure that Thor can't join the party.
A little bit of miscommunication, as the root and the crush was used to secure the speed buff. However, with the Nemesis ulti, there was no cooldowns available for the Scylla to capitalize on the Thor that was a little out of position.
I think it was just about the defense. You get the Nemesis ult and you're a little bit less likely to join the fight. Up in the air is Shane. He's going to land right on top. TsmaII forced out. There's the Janus ultimate. Not going to find a target one more time, but the option's available if Noble wants to come behind the tier 1 tower. You can see it's just the bolas coming out from the Xbalanque right now. Sealcar looking for the 1v1 against Ravana. Nobody really paying the solo lane any mind. Shane's going to come right on back, very low with the members of Kingdom in the mid lane, and Noble's going to go ahead and find the target there from around the backside. Shane chases out the mid laner, but now he's selected, he's surrounded, and he's going to dodge out the ultimate. Shane with the juke boots as Supra takes out McSaltyCakes.
Beautiful teleport from the Thor, allowing him to cut underneath, finding that easy pick on top of Scylla, setting up for the rest of his team. Now Noble Esports extending their pick advantage by grabbing the red buff as well. Just these slow objectives that they're taking away from Kingdom Esports is just really solid and really refreshing to see.
Yeah, really just a team after my own heart. Every single time they find an engagement, they're looking for what else they can find, whether it's as small as a red buff or as big as a gold Fury. Noble Esports really taking the old mantra to heart. Shane going to take a little bit of burst from the Vamana, but ultimately find the target, or the teleport, excuse me, out thanks to the hammer. And nothing else from Janus either, as just one side of the vortex hits Sealcar. So the Vamana should be fine. Tier 1 tower in the mid lane. Different story, as Lou finds a split push even on Xbalanque.
Not having any mana, Lou has to be very careful about juking out this Bacchus belly flop. Does get hit by the Intoxicate. Vamana should be able to clean up this kill. Bacchus does secure it as TsmaII comes landing after the epic uppercut. Meanwhile, on the solo lane side, yoyoabc able to split push into that tier 1 tower. So Lou, even though you're not on the Apollo, you were on the Xbalanque, still finds the tier 1 mid tower. So objectively, Noble Esports still on top of things.
Yeah, this team is just thinking about the objectives all day. Toasty tries to make it happen, and Supra gets 2 for the money with the ultimate from a distance. Finds Toasty and Sealcar with the Janus ultimate. Well played. Catalyyyst gonna die as well thanks to the surrounding from the rest of the squad. 11 kills in total for Noble Esports. They won game number 1, which was very close. Different story in the graphs here. It just looks like a slip and slide downhill for Kingdom Esports.
And that's so demoralizing right now from Kingdom Esports. You just found a pick into the mid lane right now. You're trying to find the objective to counteract the fact that you just lost your tier 1 mid tower. And now here comes a Janus ulti through the wall, which you barely have any time to react to. Able to find 2 picks so far was Supra. This guy's playing pretty well, I'd say, so far.
Yeah, so like we said, for a long, long time, Lou had a support under the name of Juniper, and these guys lane together for eons. Even on PC, going back, Noble had a very successful top 3 Challenger Cup team on the PC side of things, making the transition out of console pretty much as a team. Juniper left pretty much. Supra was to come in. Grattywind was the old mid laner. Supra came in because he was this crazy good player. Watch out. We didn't see it on the Scylla. We really didn't see it on the Scylla. The Janus, I'm seeing something different, and I'm really enjoying it.
And just the fact, everyone from Noble right now is just playing cohesive as a
Yeah.
unit. The last game, they were a little bit more spread out, but now together, utilizing the Janus mobility at their advantage right now, as the Hui is going to jump over. Not having his escape could get potentially punished.
Yeah, he's by himself, and the Xbalanque ultimate's going to send Catalyyyst on the other side. Ravana jumps over the wall. The portal's not going to find a target, but Catalyyyst very low. yoyoabc not going to chase it down. Here comes Shame, trying to do what he can. TsmaII in some trouble. Rooted away from the target, so not a big deal. And Lou, again, looking for the objective. But everybody surrounds Toasty. He's a Bacchus by himself. 4 or 5 members of Noble just pushing down this tower. TsmaII going to be teleported past as everybody looking again. Aggressive ultimate coming out from Janus. No target the whole time. Sealcar just pushing up the right-hand side.
Just like the last game, exactly. Just wonderful split push potential. That's something you have to do as a solo laner whenever you can, especially if you're behind a little bit. You have to be trying to farm and get some towers for the rest of your team. You're behind 8,000 gold, or you have to mitigate that as much as possible.
You know, it seems really simple to just split push and not really give any mind, but the decision to split push means that you're understanding that your team can win the fight down a player, or that your team has a composition and the player is good enough to mitigate and stop the team fight while you wait to join the party.
Just trading tier 2 for tier 2 when you're behind is very important. Catalyyyst not going to get hit by that Thor ultimate. However, the Thor's going to continue on. As in the mid lane, McSaltyCakes is going to try to find Yoyo. Not able to find it. Yoyo is trying to find the kill.
Up. There's the damage, and there's the hit. TsmaII takes out Yoyo. Knocked to the sky is Kata, and Grattywind gets credit for his own. Very low is Shame. Looking at Bacchus. Jumps in place.
Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Lou is still split pushing in the mid, while as on the right-hand side, Supra split pushing as well. Noble on top of the objectives. As long as Thor can survive in this left-hand side, this is going to spell beautiful things right now for Noble, finding all these towers.
Love that call. Janus goes for, so Lou goes for the, I don't want to say the safe split push, but the average split push. Janus goes for the dangerous split push. Lou gets it, and then as soon as players show up in the mid lane, the call is made for Janus to full-on retreat, and you see Supra get the hell out of there. 4-0 and 5. Keeps up the deathless streak. Kingdom Esports have only been able to find 3 kills, 1 on top of Xbalanque and 2 on top of the solo lane. What's the major difference from game 2 to game 1?
It's just the mobility right now out of Noble. The fact that they found the counter engage on the solo lane side was really important to find those 2 kills, because then they denied some buffs as a result, taking those little objectives here, little objectives there. The fact that they were able to get a Goal Fury also, uncontested almost, was really important for Noble.
I think Noble's really succeeding here because of the amount of time they've spent together as a team. Kingdom they're not exactly like a week old. They've done it. Oh, TsmaII's dash gets caught. But Noble has been together for so long, and really, like we said, just their cohesiveness is what's impressing you specifically, and that's not made in a day or a week. I mean, these guys, like I said, have been playing in the Challenger circuit on PC for a long time, and now made it through SCL qualifiers, and here they are in the SCL console league. So certainly a lot of hours in the gym as a unit is very important, and that's why Noble is able to, I think, succeed so succinctly.
And if you're going to play gods such as Janus, you're going to need to have that kind of synergy with your team to trust the fact that you're going to be going through the portals, and you might not know what's going to be on the opposite end of those portals, so you have to be trust that everyone's going to be doing their job necessary. As Noble Esports does pick up the Fire Giant right now, 22-minute mark. Nobody from Kingdom Esports around the corner.
No vision, nothing really to be looked at. Shame's going to go in the air. Will he get aggressive? Yes! The ultimate from Scylla, very smart. Juked out. Actually walked right into it as Shame, but he just throws a hammer into McSaltyCakes' face, answered back by Catalyyyst. And there's the jump on top. Yoyo by himself. Ultimate given by Janus, and the life will be saved.
And now Vamana was able to zone out the Janus and the Xbalanque, even able to find a kill right now. Vamana not having his ultimate available to him. Supra still trying to bait out yoyoabc, trying to find some more unstable vortexes through the backhand side portal, not connecting. Looks like Yoyo might be able to fall here.
And for all the good things we just said about Noble, this is one of the worst things that could have happened here. Picking up the Fire Giant for free is excellent, but then losing 3 players with the buff is certainly not. Kingdom Esports are just able to find these 1v1s, excuse me, 4v1s, just surrounding individual members of Noble, and one by one they go ahead and fall. Lou gets picked off, yoyoabc gets picked off, and True Shame gets picked off as well. So Noble with a fantastic objective push, We only have 2 members with the Fire Giant left, Tolly.
Super has to be careful as there's a lot of members. Thor does teleport over, and he might be able to find a kill. Sealcar's ultimate just came up. Thor goes up into the air. He's more than likely going to land on top of Sealcar.
And there he is, gets the stun, doesn't find the follow-up, but Supra does. Doesn't even need the Tectonic Rift. It's enough burst coming off the mage to take out the target.
I'm surprised they didn't hear that. He was very close to the Fire Giant pit. If I was the Vamana, I'd keep running around and then waiting for that right timing just to pop my ultimate as soon as the Thor is landing down. Had he popped that ultimate during that, there would not have been enough damage during that as he's running away.
Doesn't go that direction, however. Vamana sits out. He'll be sitting for another 25 seconds as well. So Noble Esports, they were really running this early game. Kingdom have waken up since then in the mid and late game. 24 minutes in. Noble Esports leading by 8 kills here, 14-6. They also sneak a Fire Giant before. They lose a bunch for it. Here they sneak a Gold Fury, and they lose nothing for it. So, Kingdom Esports, is it just the fact that they don't have any wards?
They didn't have earlier wards earlier on in the game, but the fact that Kingdom wasn't...
Kata! Supra comes from nowhere, hits him with the ult and the Vortex, takes out the Hunter in basically 2 shots. Toasty going to try and defend this tier 2 tower over here all by himself. He's got 1 player on his side, and here comes Meaty Cake from a distance. Yo-Yo takes out Toasty. It's 2v5. Scylla playing it safe. Janus going to go meet up with Scylla, forcing her out of the team fight. And now we've got Supra on the aggression. Noble going to go ahead and look towards the tower. Lou very low, dashes forward, trades his life for pretty much nothing. I think Noble got what they came for, and Lou just got over-aggressive there. Just
really good zoning coming out of the Vamana right now. It looks like they're going to try to find more kills right now. As Kingdom Esports is they're going to retreat back into the tier 2 tower. Sealcar doesn't have his ultimate available, does dash away, however. Not going to find the root, so he's going to be able to disengage. Tier 2 tower does fall, so advantage for Noble Esports right now.
So the whole game, totally, we've been complimenting Noble's ability to look towards the objectives and not be distracted by the team fights, and that right there is a deviation from what they've been doing. The entire game, we've seen them take the team fights that are necessary and translate that into the objectives, or just take the objectives without the team fight. Right there, Lou got distracted, a couple of the other players got distracted, and Noble were looking for kills instead of the tower, and they wound up trading a few too many lives to take out that tier 2.
The last team fight before that one specifically, where they dove the Scylla, allowed the Vamana to play very aggressive in the backline. There was no peel for the Janus and the Xbalanque. If Noble want to succeed moving forward, when it comes to the mid to late game right now, you can't allow the Scylla to reach level 20 having Rada Tahuti available in the later stages at the 45-minute mark. So you have to find a way to close this one out, and the best way for Noble to do that is just to play as 5 members. You have a lot of CC at your disposal with the portal, with the Tectonic Rift, with a lot of follow-up damage with Kumbhakarna as well. So Noble just got to play together.
If I ask you to take a guesstimate from level 17 to level 20, how many minutes does that take?
At this stage of the game, it's very risky to also free farm, so it probably would take about 6 to 8 minutes to get to level 20 if I'm the Scylla.
That's the window that Noble are looking for in this game too. Now, if Scylla hits level 20, it's by no means over. There's still definitely a game for Noble Esports, but Scylla's this late game time bomb there. When she reaches that 20, all of her abilities maxed out, give her extra bonuses, and she just starts, I mean, she already hits like a Mack truck. She winds up hitting like a space asteroid. So what you have here is Noble Esports have this 6 to 8, 10-minute window where they really want to be able to push Scylla down, get her out of the game, and then win before she becomes this wrecking ball. And to do so, Noble's going to start the Fire Giant. Again, no vision from Kingdom.
They had the timer, Noble, so now they're utilizing that to their advantage. Going to start it up. Fire Giant a little bit low right now. Nice Tectonic Rift on top of Sealcar. It looks like there's going to be a contest right now.
And there's the stun onto Sealcar. He's not going to be able to get it. Noble pick up the Fire Giant pretty much no problem. Shane going to try and punish the one player that shows up. It's McSaltyCakes who finds a way out. 70% HP on the mage. Sealcar, different story. He's about 0. Lou winds up on the good side of that one. McSaltyCakes in the ultimate, going to turn and burn. Just turn and run. yoyoabc gets aggressed on by TsmaII, but really just for the slow. And Noble Esports get out of this one alive.
That's really important, the fact that Yo-Yo was able to force the ulti out of McSaltyCakes right there. So that allows the siege coming out of the rest of Noble a lot easier to deal with the damage coming out line for Kingdom.
Yeah, I mean, the crush is a little bit more telegraphed and certainly, doesn't waterfall the way that the ultimate from Scylla does. So a big push there. And again, noting that Scylla definitely the target. Kumbhakarna just ults her in the back line. Sanctuary is going to be up. The rest of the team fighting a different fight on the top of the Phoenix. And again, looking for the kills and not the structure, totally. Phoenix still stands by a lot.
Lou got bullied out on the right-hand side. Sprint was used to disengage right now. Purification on top of Catalyyyst. Lou had to go on the right-hand side just to get some lifesteal as Thor is going to go up in the air. It looks like Noble's going to commit to this Phoenix right now.
And there's the push from Shame in the solo lane, making sure Kingdom can't defend. Noble come from the back, push out the Firebird. Very textbook execution coming out from Noble.
Beautiful zoning coming out of Grattywind, finding a triple mess, triple root right there, able to disengage with his dash as well. Finding the middle, Phoenix currently still having Fire Giant on 5 members. If I'm Noble Esports, you're backing to buying. You still have the Gold Fury available to take. You're currently sitting at 71,000 gold at this stage of the game. Huge, comfortable lead against Kingdom Esports. Gonna extend it even more.
Yeah, this Gold Fury pretty much free for Noble. Catalyyyst drops the Suns far too early, looking more to dissuade the entire idea of the Gold Fury than looking for a steal or the follow-up. And Noble instead, now they're just going to charge. Catalyyyst running away, ultimate out of the Xbalanque, going to stop him for a second. Can't find the basics as Lou until the root comes and Catalyyyst in trouble. But the knockup from Toasty, good enough. Super takes out Catalyyyst, low is Lou. Up in the sky goes the target. 5 members from Noble surrounding 1. Toasty still too tanky, finding a way out of the right-hand side. Nemesis on the back, TsmaII trying to dive the back line. Lou finds an exit, but now Sealcar here as well. Aussie's ticking, and Lou has been hanging on by a thread for what seems like forever.
And Thor's up in the air. He's going to look for the Nemesis, potentially going to land in the mid lane instead. Nemesis is going to back right now, recognizing the fact that the Hui ultimate was down. They forced a team fight with the Janus ultimate and Xbalanque as well, making it very difficult for Kingdom to see what angle Noble Esports was coming at. So losing the Hui now, and now getting the goal for Noble Esports at the 30-minute mark.
Yeah, there it is. Over 10 kills. Noble Esports is sitting in the lead 11 as they got 15,000 gold differential and a whole bunch of players at level 20, whereas Kingdom Esports only have their solo laner there. So Noble Esports looking very strong here in their debut. Again, game number 1, very, very tight. But Noble Esports have really brought this one to the bank this time around. yoyoabc, a big part of game number 1. Still quite a nuisance here, 4, 3, and 6. But again, I'm looking so much at Lou. But Shame and Supra have really had game number 2 all over themselves.
And that's what you have to do as a mid-jungle combination. You have to hold hands throughout the jungle. And what better 2 gods than hold hands together if you're Janus and Thor? You're taking the portals together, and then you're going to have Thor probably go up in the air around Fire Giant or Gold Fury Pit and allowing the Janus to continue on, and you're going to meet each other later on anyway. So just playing beautifully together. Combined, they're 10, 1, and 18 right now between those 2 scorelines.
Yeah, Shame here. He's been playing for a while. It's really fun to look at this Noble Esports squad because, like I said, they played together as a unit before. But Yo-Yo and Lou have been playing for about a year together, a really long time there. And then Shame over there, he's the Georgia native. He's the local boy. He's been crushing it as well. And honestly, again, I love his brand of jungle. He's just looking for the control, understanding that his teammates are really going to bring the damage.
And bringing the damage also going to be the Xbalanque at this stage of the game, having a lot of crit available with the Wind Demon, with the Rage as well.
Quick jump, yoyoabc right to the back line with that Ravana ultimate. Again, just spacing out the enemy, making sure Kingdom can aggress, and the Phoenix already below half HP. Noble Esports now on the backside, Lou in trouble, Sealcar finds the hit with the combo. Now Vamana just wrecking the backline of Noble. Not enough protection and too much desire to space. And Noble are watching as their hunter falls down and they're forced to retreat.
Constantly, the Vamana is doing a great job going into the back line. Both solo laners going to the back line. Unfortunately for Noble, the Vamana is just doing a little bit more than the Ravana, as the Kingdom Esports are going to continue to chase this on, finding the crush on top of Yo-Yo, slowing him down a little bit. Going to need to find the slow again or a ricochet potentially.
Yeah, this pick is very important. Fire Giant is up, so with the kill on the yoyoabc, Noble won't have a lot of their spacing tools available to them. Yo-Yo not dead yet. The turnaround might just do it. But Kata doesn't really want to chase it for some reason. Gets the mark, looking for the jump and the ricochet. Finds one, can't find the other. And the escape for the solo laner is going to be good. Here's the response from Super and Gratty. They slow down Toasty, who's able to jump away. Sealcar rooted. He's going to get a basic, but not much else. And Kingdom Esports get away with it.
And that's what they need to do. They need to put a bit of pressure right now. yoyoabc back into the team fight, slowing down Toasty, as we're going to have Sealcar go into his ulti, going to zone out the Janus away from this team fight, forcing the purification out of him. Vamana's going to go back into the backhand side as the Thor's going to regroup in mid lane.
Sealcar just tossing it out, making sure nobody's going to follow him. Making sure nobody's going to follow him. Making sure nobody's going to follow him.
I was gonna see like if you were gonna keep rolling with that, keep rolling.
He's just making sure nobody's going to follow him.
He's just gonna make sure nobody's gonna follow.
That's it. That's it. Lou, on the other hand, he wants somebody to follow him. This full build Xbalanque, 2 kills to his name. Got that Wind Demon. Got that Chinsai. Decent amount of crit chance. And, of course, the bolas. Just gonna punch.
He needs to make sure that whenever this Vamana goes in, the attention is to protect Lou in the situation. You can't have a dead hunter in the beginning of a team fight right now. If I am Noble, I'm not going to dive the backline anymore if I'm Yo-Yo. I'm just going to make sure that I'm zoning a little bit in the front and then staying in the back.
Shame gets just bursted down. The belly flop into the crush, and the jungler is just no longer there. Noble Esports on their back heels now. It's a 4v5. Toasty gonna punch a yoyoabc. Not a good portal coming out from Supra, and the turnaround from Kingdom is real. There's a big belch, not gonna find much. The ultimate out of Janus is forced, and I'm a monster not gonna be on the mark. That's really rough for Kingdom, honestly. The lack of these Scylla ults on both sides have just really hurt teams trying to use this character.
It has been a little bit hurtful, but you still have a lot of area of effect damage with your Crush available to him. Not having I'm a monster to secure this Fire Giant could potentially allow Noble to steal this. Yo-Yo is around the corner as well as Grattywind. Stuns come out. The jump is good. A lot of people get knocked up.
Noble Esports steal it! They steal it! They take it right underneath the nose of Kingdom Esports. All thanks to you by the jump in from Yo-Yo and a hit from Supro. And Noble Esports find themselves in the lead with the Fire Giant, with the individual kills. TsmaII gonna chase around Grattywind, but Lou always mind on the money. Money on the mind, looking right for the Phoenixes. Takes out mid by himself. He's gonna wait up by the left-hand side while his team deals with the nonsense in the middle.
And with that, he's going to split push on the left-hand side. The rest of Noble is going to Paradise in the mid lane as they're trying to find more kills right now. Lou is going to be able to flank underneath once he gets their Catalyst. Still running away. Lou underneath, finding the dodge, finding the kill as well.
It's just one for now, trying to find the follow-ups as Shame lands down on top of nobody. Nemesis shield is gone. Double dash is activated, and Lou's on the hunt. Coming down south as everybody else starts looking towards the Hunter, or the Nemesis turns around. Now Lou's going to opt for the red buff, give it over to the Janus, who's got 50 stacks on the Doom Orb, so definitely packing a punch. 36 on the clock, totally 20 kills in total for Noble Esports. They're leading by 11 kills, and they're looking to take this one to the cleaners as they head down the left-hand side.
5v4 as the Scylla does finally revive right now, not able to find the stun. Sealcar going to try to dive the backline on top of the Janus, maybe forcing him out of the fight. Nemesis is going to find Xbalanque as Vamana's going to stick on him. Left side Phoenix falls, 2 Phoenixes down so far. Noble in the driver's seat.
Looking for the disengage. Shame's going to get out of there for the moment. And then answered by the Intoxicate and TsmaII with the last hit. And now Noble, with their jungler gone, they want to take it aggressive. They see Sealcar very low HP. McSaltyCakes dashes away, but Yo-Yo takes out the enemy solo later. Grattywind just standing there, blocking the path of Toasty. Can't walk that way, can't walk this way, can't find any exit. So gone as Grattywind gets credit for that off of the poison from Xbalanque. 2 dead on the side of Kingdom.
2 dead, but 2 Phoenixes are removed as well. Noble Esports going to look for potential 3rd Phoenixes as they are going to regroup right now. 3 members stand for Kingdom, 4 members stand for Noble. They still have potential dive. Catalyst has to be very careful right now. Both of his relics are down.
That's the thing here. Kingdom Esports, it's a 4v3 and Noble has the numbers, but Noble also has the health bar numbers. All of the targets for Kingdom Esports are the squishies, the support and the solo, the thick, the tanks. They're not there, but the Phoenix is, and Yo-Yo tanks it a little bit too long. TsmaII now trying to turn it around. Aggresses onto the support, but Kumbhakarna going to be fine. Phoenix not going to fall. Yo-Yo really didn't have to die there.
Thor has revived. He is not going to be able to teleport on the right-hand side, but does find a teleport on the left. There is no chase for Kingdom Esports, unfortunately, for Shame. He would have been able to easily take advantage of that had there were been.
Shame teleports in as soon as his team teleports out. Just a little bit of, I think they made a Seinfeld episode about that one, Tully. Just not able to be on the same page. Shame picks up the enemy speed buff. Going to invade the blue as well.
Fire Giant isn't respawning for quite a while right now. They still have 3 members on the side of Noble with Fire Giant, as the right side Phoenix still stands right now. Currently 38 minutes into the game. Full builds online for Noble.
Oh, yeah.
Still struggling. Some members from Kingdom Esports, specifically Scylla, not having that Rada to Hootie is hurting her a little bit. Still sitting on the Soul Stone as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even the route to Hootie for me. Honestly, McSaltyCakes picked the Scylla seemingly to take it away from Supra, who didn't have a fantastic showing on it. He's doing better on the Janus. But the Scylla just hasn't worked out in either game, but specifically here, 0-4 and 5. The impact of the Scylla, you can see her sitting there below pretty much half. Right there is half of Lou, and then right beneath her, is going to be the Scylla. That's just tough, man. When you see the Scylla, especially in a game this late, you expect a lot more damage.
When we saw the picks and bans, when Scylla was picked with the Nemesis, we thought that there was going to be a Kumbhakarna pick to complement that. The setup from Kumbha would allow an easier time for Scylla to get off her damage, but the Bacchus pick didn't really allow the Scylla to find this opportunity. You could still follow up, but just not as easily.
Now the initiation, you can see the ultimate coming out from the Xbalanque. There's the portal to catch one, not going to be enough. Toasty finds an exit. But there on the backside, yoyoabc just going to town on the Phoenix, and it's going to fall. Good stun coming out from James' ultimate. Ultimate out of Scylla, one more time, going to miss. That's rough. Gets rooted out. Purification is used. Dash is found. And the Scylla's going to be safe on the south side. Now, aggression onto TsmaII. He's going to beads and get out of there, no problem. And the chase on Noble is big, as everybody in red is relatively low, Toli. They've got to play it safe if they want to be this aggressive.
Meditation was just used from Kumbhakarna, allowing them to still stick around for just a little bit longer. Fire Giant is going to respawn in about less than 30 seconds, so some members from Noble have to start getting healthy if they want to make sure that they're able to do it, or make sure that Kingdom doesn't sneak it under their nose.
Lou's going to drop the vision, so there's no sneaks coming the way of Kingdom. Noble has all the vision. Everybody else from Noble goes ahead and backs. Big play.
And with the 2 Phoenixes down currently, Kingdom Esports has to be very careful about trying to even defend this Fire Giant. Scylla on the left-hand side. If I see that if I'm Noble, I'm trying to capitalize on the fact right away. Scylla's Oldo on the left-hand side forces Fire Giant. She doesn't have a global. She doesn't have a teleport available. Without her in that team fight, it's going to be a lot easier.
Yeah, this is really rough for Noble. There's no way they can even show their face. This has to be completely relinquished, but it doesn't look like Toasty wants to do that. Already, Fire Giant down to 25% AP. Jumping in is the Bacchus, too early, but finds it anyway. Intoxicating the follow-up. Kingdom steal it away. 2 steals, 2 teams, 2 games. The ultimate out of Janus follows up. Toasty takes big burst from through space and time, and yoyoabc gonna follow up. The basics are slow, and the hit is slower. Super finds the kill on top of Toasty. Shame gets rooted out, and a big chunk taken away. He's half HP, but the damage has been done. Noble lose the Fire Giant, but they do steal 1 player.
Mid Phoenix does fall as well. There's a fire wave inside the Titan room. Sealcar is going to fall to Lou as well. The rest of Noble is pushing in. Nice double root, finding the Sanctuary on top of Supra as well. Noble trying to finish off the game.
Supra got to play it a little bit safe now. T-Small just ready to fight anybody that steps too far away. That's the 2nd steal we saw in this game, Toli. That was fun.
It's nice to always see that, 1-for-1 kind of situation. It's like, hey, you stole 1 from us. It's our turn to steal 1 from you as well.
A little bit of bite back. Noble still has some momentum, though. You can see them, Fire Giant or not, just going to keep on going. T-Small in some trouble. Dash is mezzed out. Shame in the air. Going to land right on top of the jungler as well. Doesn't even need it. Catalyyyst answers back by taking out Lou. A majority of Noble's damage. So this Titan push is going to be neutered, and Noble are going to find themselves retreating, especially after the kill from Scylla. But with her dead, Toli, again a turnaround.
That's going to be huge, taking out Scylla in the situation. Thor taking a lot of damage from this Bacchus, and Catalyyyst as well, as we're going to see a knock up into the air. Catalyyyst going to be able to survive for now. Titan is still taking a little bit of damage, so still favoring Noble right now. With 2 members alive for both squads, 3 Phoenixes down for Kingdom. Noble just has to make sure that once they get all 5 members, they group up, find the vulnerable Phoenix, and finish the game out.
Cat is a big part of the squad for Kingdom for Kingdom here. I mean, in the last game, we saw him as the Jingwei behind, just pushing players out by himself, whether he killed them or not. And here, same thing. He just finds a couple of choice kills. He's really able to just find these targets and force the enemy down. I mean, this guy, he's the big part of Kingdom, and I think Noble are well aware, and they're playing a little bit safer around him. as long as their name is in Kumbhakarna.
The scoreline doesn't really dictate the performance that he's been doing in this game. There's a lot of intangibles that we always have to look at. A lot of little things that are going on throughout the game for Catalyyyst specifically, whether it was last game or this game. And now, if I'm Kingdom Esports in this situation, I have to be warding around the mid-hand side, cutting a line through the middle of the map horizontally, and I'm trying to figure out anyone that's out of position. If the Xbalanque is going to do my red buff, I'm going to try to pick him off in that situation. So that's something that Kingdom Esports could potentially take advantage of. Maybe even leaving the red buff available, just to tempt the Xbalanque to stick around for that 1 second.
Something interesting I see on the build path coming out from the Janus. One death. So he had 50 stacks and then do more. At this point in the time, he dies and he cuts down to 25%. He sells it. I don't really think he sold it because he died and lost the stacks. He opts instead for the Chronos Pendant and then finishes up a huge chunk of damage with the Spear of Desolation. The Chronos Pendant just allows him to do different things.
Especially once he gets if he finds a kill, he's going to reset those cooldowns. Thor is going to go up in the air looking for an engagement. It looks like TsmaII might be a little bit out of position the rest of his team.
Yeah, he's all by himself. Shame. Still not going to engage, just trades out the ultimate for pretty much nothing. There's the Shibby ultimate, and Lou is how the team's going to engage. Sealcar very low already. Tossed in the portal is Toasty. Noble Esports gets aggressive, but they don't get anything for it.
No, Mid Phoenix is still available. The Vamana ultimate is not, however, so that could be a target that Noble could try to find and exploit. The Scylla taking a lot of damage from that unstable vortex.
Double knockup from Toasty. Can't find the stun to follow up, however. Now there's one route. Kingdom trying to defend against this mid Phoenix, excuse me. There's a stun from Shame, no follow-up, but there's the ultimate from Nemesis. Very low is yoyoabc. He's deep, the Phoenix falls, and so does Sealcar. Very low, yoyoabc finds the kill. And now in trouble is Arrest as Shane puts one on the ground as well. Noble are 5-3 at the moment, still looking for the kills. Very low, Shame falls down. Catalyyyst, of course, no surprise there for the Hunter. Kumbhakarna knocks him in the sky. Luke follows up, can't find the kill.
As it looks like we're going to have yoyoabc trying to find the kill, not able to find it. Going to find a nice root on top of Lou. So that's 2 kills for 1 in the favor of Kingdom. Noble not able to close this out, but the Titan has taken so much damage right now, sitting at 25% health. This could be a dropship.
I mean, this is Noble. What's interesting here is Noble has played the objective game successfully all game. We've mentioned that eye on the prize with respect to the Phoenix and the towers and stuff like that, totally. But really, they haven't come up on top in the team fights, and it seems like because of their strategy, it's okay. They're pushing these Phoenixes, and there's so much pressure just from the minions that these engages on this Titan or on this Phoenix could have been a lot better. We could have seen the Thor ultimate actually do something, but they're still able to put on the pressure because of the waves.
Absolutely. The Fire Wave was allowing the advantage for Noble Esports to keep playing aggressively. Even though they didn't get the Fire Gen earlier on, they're still able to utilize the fact that they have this full build available to them, the potions available to them, the vision control. However, they need to find a way to execute the Thor Janus, similar to how they did in the earlier stages of the game, if they want to find a way to close it out. One way you could do it is obviously with the Janus through space and time, just to all in this Titan, which is very easy to do at this stage of the game.
You think that's going to happen?
I would love to see it happen.
That would be an excellent way to start our season here. Cheeky plays, intelligent decision making.
Wait, Kiki's here?
He might be. Noble Esports here. Gonna make a play for the Fire Giant instead of just for the Titan. How much HP does that Titan have right now?
Right now at 25% health. I would assume it's about less than 3,000, 3,500.
Really? So I mean that Janus ultimate's gonna hit it for at least 800 damage. And then the follow-up from walking through the portal.
As long as somebody's inside, then the Janus ult will do damage, but you can't deal damage from an outside the Titan room. So
it's going to be up to the team entirely. Grouping up now is Noble Esports on the right-hand side. Supra absolutely swinging. 40,000 damage for the mid lane mage in 47 minutes of combat. You can see grouping up here.
They're doing
ready for it.
They're on a ward, though, I think. They got
no, they're not. They group up from Noble. They're going to push. There's the Janus ultimate right on top, trying to stop them as Kingdom, but it doesn't look like they can. Order Titan 20% and less. And there it is, folks. Your first game of the TsmaII Console League. Noble take both of them, and the second one comes in dramatic fashion. The Janus ultimate takes out the Titan, and the team follows suit. Well done. Noble Esports.
They had to do it in that situation. They were doing a better job PvE in the earlier stages of the game. PvP, they were kind of struggling a little bit in some of the team fights right now, so they secured the last final objective.
I like the way you put that. We saw that whole game, just the small fights. They'd take one or two and then look for the objectives. And even when nobody died, they'd find the objectives. Noble, I'm with you. They played a better PvE game than PvP game in game number 2, and they finally take things out, find their DBM, and turn things up and take out the final boss. What's their loot, Tolly? 2 wins to start off the league?
Well, whoever gets the biggest roll.
That feels really good.
I would give it to Supra.
Supra?
Yeah, I would give the loot to Supra.
So Supra gets the epics. We get to look at some of the plays. yoyoabc over here in game number 2 on the Ravana. A little bit less of an impact than he did on the tier, honestly.
He was able to zone the Scylla away from the team fight. Sometimes it was a little bit too aggressive at the really late stages of the game. However, in this stage, in the mid game, when things were going their way in Noble, they were still finding the good opportunities.
Yeah, these guys came up on top in game number 2. Noble was off to a tear, and you can see the lead that Yo-Yo has right now. Just level 13, just bullying these single-digit players in the mid lane. And then over here, as the game gets later and later, 25 in the clock this time around, here Yo-Yo's able to just tank the tower while his team, again, look at them focus on the tower and less on the team fight. And that's why they were so successful in this match.
And that's what you have to do as a solo laner that is ahead. You have to utilize the fact that you are very tanky to allow the rest of your team to dive in. This is the first rotation that the Janus and the Thor ultimates found a beautiful counter engage on top of the Nemesis and the Vamana, whose both ultimates were down.
And look at Shane's attention to detail there. He lands on one target, and as soon as it's dead, he's able to just snap to the other, find a great wall. No real time spent thinking, just doing. And that's a really big part if you're going to be a mechanically intense jungler like Thor.
And on top of that, Noble was able to find the little objectives after these kills, whether it was the blue buff, whether it was more mid harpies as well, whether it was a tier 1 tower, split pushing tier 2s, mid lane to right lane. They were doing it all.
Yeah, Shane puts down Catalyyyst. We mentioned how often these guys have played against each other at various lands. And here Shane one more time walks into the damage. Honestly, not a good play against the Scylla, but still manages to find a way out the hard way to the fountain. I thought he escaped.
Stuck on his own wall, unfortunately, and this is the situation where the Vamana didn't hear the Thor ultimate right around the corner as well. Supra was finding a lot of good kills, especially in the mid lane when he found that double kill in the tier 1 tower.
Yeah,
that was really impressive.
Game number 2 was a lot of fun to watch for Supra. Game number 1, it was okay, it worked out, but plays like this was exciting stuff. Able to find the okie-doke kill behind the tier 1 tower. Lou shows up as well, and Noble wind up on top of not just 1, but 2 games so far. We've got 3 sets this afternoon. We're going to take a look at Soar playing Eager later on this afternoon. That is definitely one of the more exciting matches. Soar versus Eager. They are pretty much the number 1 and 2 teams. I know the games haven't been played yet, and anything can change, but you definitely want to stay tuned for that. Most Wanted will take on Elevate next. That's Cloud's team and a lot of other familiar faces. So you want to see your friends. You want to see the squads show up. 2-0 go to Noble this time around. Will Most Wanted beat out Elevate? Stay tuned to hi-rez TV to find out.